It's free. Hey y'all, good to see you. Let me pin this link real quick in the vertical live. I'm so glad y'all are here with me today. Hope y'all are having a good Monday. We have got some things to talk about this here day. Oh my goodness, I was sending some stuff over the weekend and I was like, damn, like, is it even okay to have this? I got all these crystals still sitting on this. Look at my dresser. It's a mess. I got to clean it up. Lord, what is going on with you, camera? I'm going to make y'all all sick first. There, maybe it'll stay like that. Hey, Logical, good to see you. Logical Realist, you are in the vertical live, just so you know. If you click that link I just dropped, it'll bring you to the regular live. I'm so glad you're here today, and it's nice to meet you. A little bit of Lisa, good to see you. Lori Ann, good to see you. Cindy from Sunny South Florida, good to see you. Rubber Ramada, good to see you. Southern Cats, good to see you. Kids who run away are in as much, if not more, danger than those who don't. Actually, we can talk about that briefly. There was just recently a bust in Southern California. They got quite a few traffickers, and it was children that they had, young girls and boys that they had working the streets. They get trafficked and stuff. It's horrible. I want to do a whole episode on this. It's like a group that gets kids to do that. They tattoo their names on their body or area codes, and it's how they know who's trafficking them. Very sad. Very, very sad. Darzilla, good to see you. I think, yep. Rob Thomas, good to see you. Scratch the Paint, good to see you. Yeah, a lot of them did, and hopefully they came back, but it's bad because they'll get picked up or trafficked, and they're just, having a moment, and these predators will prey right on that. So sad. So very sad. Honker Splunker. I like your name. Good to see you. Yeah, lots of kids in Virginia. And what's interesting about that is that the FBI headquarters is in Virginia. Good afternoon, Rhonda. You were in the vertical live. If you click the link at the top, it'll bring you over to the regular live. I'm so glad y'all are here with me today. Content Angel, good to see you. MFW, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I really appreciate it. So good to see y'all. Tom, good to see you. It is, isn't it? Your comment got read. Eat your heart out. Oh, I try to read everybody's comments, sweetheart. If you hang out over here, I will read all of your comments. All right. So I got some information today, not today, yesterday or the other day when I was doing the video on, actually, we're going to talk about why it's so bad for kids to run away. If I can find it real quick. Gotta see where I put it. Hold on. Here it is. Sorry that y'all were just kind of staring at my face for a minute. I'm gonna try to fix this camera too. It's this one right here. 600 arrested, 170 victims rescued in California human trafficking crackdown. Check this out.
A large part of the operation taking place right here in LA County.
Hold on.
A large part of the operation
taking
place right here in LA County, considered a hotbed for human trafficking.
Among the victims, teenagers from all over the country, some as young as 13. And Nowadays News reporter Sid Garcia is live in downtown LA with all the details. Sid.
It's the 12th year in a row that this task force has been going after human traffickers. And in this latest one that happened about a week and a half ago, they made hundreds of arrests.
Human trafficking and child exploitation are devastating crimes.
Last week of January, local, state, and federal law enforcement teams went out to pick up solicitors and providers of young girls and boys involved in sex trafficking. They call.
And, how do you think them young girls and boys get out there? Nene, not good to see you, love. Thank you so much, Nene. I appreciate it. I'll bring it down a little bit so you can see my hair a little better. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, there was so many saved, but with these young boys and girls, a lot of them are runaways and they get groomed before they run away, or they get picked up after they go out. And it's just a really sad situation. I'm so glad that they got these people, busted them, and saved these kids. And you'll hear them talk about it at the end, the kids specifically. Abraham, good to see you. Darzilla said runaways don't realize how much danger they put themselves in. Exactly. Yep.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Rob, I'm going to be watching you. You say kids are stupid. I highlighted your comment because I don't say that kids are stupid, okay? What I say is that teenagers make decisions and they don't think it through. They don't think about, okay, if I do this, what the consequences are going to be. It's just, I'm going to do this right now, and this is what's happening right now. It's a lot of the reason why teenagers have such a hard time in high school. They're thinking about what's happening today. And if their boyfriend breaks up with them, it's the end of their whole world. And they don't realize that they've got a whole life ahead of them and that none of this is going to matter probably in a week. For kids, it's just that day, that moment.
Operation Reclaim and Rebuild. Statewide, more than 600 arrests were made. 156 adults and 14 children were rescued from the streets of LA and up and down the state. The task force also confiscated several weapons in their week-long sting. Young girls and boys given a second chance to reclaim and rebuild their lives.
Survivors need care.
Thank God.
They need time. They need a chance to rebuild their lives. And our partnerships with these organizations are what allows those individuals to reclaim their lives and rebuild their lives.
There's a number of service organizations the deputy chief alluded to that help the victims
Hey,
of human
G14.
trafficking start over
Exactly.
and rebuild their lives. These groups work hand in hand with law enforcement to help survivors of human trafficking. Sarah Elender is with Saving Innocence.
Because together we create something far greater than the sum of all of our parts, a unified and collective, collaborative response to meet survivors just where they are with just what they need.
Right now, those involved in human trafficking.
I don't know if you've seen, but like G14 Classified said a lot of teenagers have no impulse control, and that's a much better way to put that. Yes, I agree 100%, G14.
Bop, boom, 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 bop, bam.
Hey, Crystal. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Rubber said they leave for a reason, but I do not feel they intend to end up this way. Right. Just like when, I was using substances, it felt good in the moment, but then you end up as an addict and doing God knows what. Nobody ever wakes up and says, I want to be addicted to whatever drug that you're on. Nobody wakes up and says, I want to be a lady of the night. It just kind of happens. And these teenagers, they don't understand, and a lot of times they're groomed. They'll have a boyfriend who's pimping them out. It's a real messed up situation. Carol, good to see you and thank you for being here. Shelby, good to see you and thank you for being here. A lot of these people, like the Lord, I forget what it's called, but they'll take like clean syringes, Narcan, things like that, and hand it out here. There's people that'll take toothbrushes, soap, shampoo, towels, like clothes, all kinds of things, food, drinks to them, just to make sure that they, because they're determined they're going to stay out there. So they try to help them. And it could be, some people think it could be counterproductive. I think at the end of the day, if they're determined to stay out there, just trying to help and make sure they have what they need from time to time when you're able to get out there and give it to them is important. Kimmy C123, good to see you. AJ, good to see you. Thank you for being here. There's a place that I go and they hand out Narcan, and I always get Narcan. And then when somebody's at the gas station and they're like, hey, do you got $1? Or can I borrow, do you got some change? I'll hand them, $1 or $2 out of my wallet, and I'll also hand them some Narcan. That's just something that I do and have done for years, because even if they don't use it, they can give it to somebody who can, or it could save a life. You just don't know. There's people, I went to the pharmacy and it was sitting on like the little brick wall under the window. There was just a thing of Narcan there sitting there for free. So it's just, we got to get these out here because that kind of stuff can save a life. Little bit of Lisa said the brain doesn't reach full development until the age of 25, and that's very important. Cara, good to see you. Forrest, good to see you. And Happy Turtle, good to see you. I don't think 18-year-olds are old enough to make decisions like that at all. That's why, when you tell me an 18-year-old did something to me, that's still a baby. 2025, now you're reaching adulthood. You should know better. Forrest Nelson said, popping in to give a like. We'll be rewatched for this one. Have a good day. Have a good day, love, and thank you for stopping by. Carol said, my kids and I helped out the homeless kids in Seattle. They needed socks desperately and warm clothes of any type. We also gave contact information for social services and shelters and bagged lunches. That is amazing. What a blessing you were to so many people. What a wonderful person. That is an awesome thing to do. I used to volunteer at some of the food banks and stuff. I've done that too. But they do socks is important, underwear, things like that. That's amazing. And I'm really proud of you for doing that. Thank you for doing that. We need more people like that out here doing stuff. Abraham said, I have a friend in LA who passes out those necessities. Yes, that is awesome. We need to get together and make sure more people do that because you never know who you're helping.
Trafficking of a minor face a felony. For the trafficking of an adult, it's a misdemeanor.
So I would ask our state leaders who actually created the felony dealing with minors involved with human sex trafficking to also go ahead and make it all of human sex trafficking is a violent and serious offense.
Human trafficking should be a felony regardless. Definitely for children, but for adults too. What the hell? Marilyn M., good to see you. Naloxone available free at Canadian pharmacies. I didn't know that. That is awesome. Thank you, Canada, for doing that. That's amazing. And thank you for that information. Their thoughts are just not the same as a full adult. Their reasoning regarding life is not like an adult at all. 100%.
Boom, 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 bam.
That's why 18 is not adult for me. My kids and I used to do that with their dad when he passed away. We continued it on. Sadly, the population has grown and the kids are younger. Yep. Cindy has a organization that helps give out turkeys, like Thanksgiving stuff to families, and they give out Christmas gifts to kids, which is amazing. She's got it in the name of her husband who passed away, unfortunately. Hey, Max, my former roommate, his brother, my husband, and I would put together backpacks with some toiletries, toothbrushes, blankets. We got in trouble with Sarasota County for doing it. What the hell? Why did you get in trouble? Did they tell you couldn't? Definitely always carry naloxone and give it out. Give it to everybody you see, especially people asking you for a couple dollars. That's what I think. If y'all don't mind, twinkle, twinkle over to that thumbs up, baby.
Come on, players. Stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, Star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle, baby. Jerry, good to see you. I know someone who does hygiene bags and donates them to shelters. Y'all are all amazing. And I know you guys are. You guys are all so amazing. Such wonderful blessings on our society. You guys keep doing the damn thing.
So if you suspect human trafficking may be going on where you live,
I
or you
did.
may know a victim of human trafficking, the easiest thing you can do to help that victim out, call 911 and report it. Live in downtown LA, I'm Sid Garcia, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, so that was what I had found on
right now
on the human trafficking stuff that I wanted to share with you guys. It's a sad. We're gonna go. We're gonna pull this up on the screen first. But it's sad. A lot of the people that get involved in that, like I said, nobody ever sets out in life and says, I want to be addicted to drugs. I want to be a lady of the night. I want to be a man of the night. Hey, Mustang, my love. Hey, Hannah, my love. It just kind of happens over time. And a lot of people get groomed into it. They get with who they feel like is their boyfriend. And over time, this man will talk them into doing things. And this man is really a pimp, but they feel like he's their boyfriend, and they'll be the favorite. because they'll be the new one, and then it'll move on to the next new one who's the favorite, and they're always trying. It's a fucked up situation. Content, good to see you. The last time the police pushed a trafficking story out, they led the media to believe the arrests were in one place when in reality it was across the country. Do we know where those arrests were made? It said in California. Hold on.
A
Says
large part of the
California.
operation taking place right here in LA County, considered
So it said a large part of the operation taking place right here in LA County, but not all of it. So I don't know. I wonder if the police got mad because they wanted the homeless to move out of that area, but either way, they shouldn't have done that to you. We gave out socks at Christmas, and part of the gifts from Bomba's free sock program. That's super cool. Y'all, the solitary fly, I swear, never dies. Like, again, there was snow on the ground, and there's a solitary fly in here. One in the whole house. In my whole entire house, there is one fly, and it is in here. Like, I don't understand it. The universe is working against me. Marilyn said, be a helper, not a judge. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm thinking the state. I think people assume it's all downtown LA. They said a large portion of it was there, but yeah, not all of it. Hey, Edith and Angela, good to see you. Yeah, the singer from 3 Doors Down passed away. He had cancer. My husband was telling me that yesterday, I do believe. And I'm sorry that that happened, Max. I know I saw you posted about it. Heo, my love, good to see you. And Cara said, now in Sarasota County, the homeless are arrested and put into jail or given tickets. They're probably trying to clean out the area. That could be why they got upset with you. But I still think that, we don't need to, I don't know. I don't agree with all of that. Like being mean, to people just trying to help. Yes, it is very sad. Let me pull up an article on that real quick before we get into today's topic. My computer said, not today. Okay, we'll watch this. This was from a day ago. Brad Arnold, 3 Doors Down singer, dies at 47 after battling cancer. Brad Arnold, the lead singer and co-founder of rock band 3 Doors Down, has died. His bandmates confirmed Saturday, February 7th. He was 47. The founding member died peacefully alongside loved ones, including his wife, Jennifer, 3 Doors Down, confirmed on social media. Arnold married Jennifer, a professional barrel racer, in 2009. Quote, Brad helped redefine mainstream rock music, blending post-grunge accessibility with emotionally direct songwriting and lyrical themes that resonated with everyday listeners, unquote, the band said in a statement. Quote, his music reverberated far beyond the stage, creating moments of connection, joy, faith, and shared experiences that will live on long after stages he performed on, unquote. The statement continued, quote, those closest to him will remember not only his talent, but his warmth, humility, faith, and deep love for his family and friends, unquote. In May of 2025, the musician announced in a somber social media video he had been diagnosed with advanced stage clear cell renal carcinoma, kidney cancer that had metastasized into his lung. Because of Arnold's illness, members of 3 Doors Down, which also include guitarist Chris Henderson, drummer Greg Upchurch, guitarist Chet Roberts, and bassist Justin Bilton, canceled their summer tour. Lord have mercy. I'll play this because I got to fix my music anyway. And one of the children just came in. We'll listen to this for just a second. I think this is going to be them performing. It's going to talk about it anyway.
Brad Arnold, lead singer and founding member of 3 Doors Down, has died at 47, just 7 months after revealing he was battling stage 4 cancer. The band confirmed his passing on Saturday, writing that he died peacefully in his sleep with his beloved wife Jennifer and his family by his side after a courageous battle with cancer. The statement went on to honor Arnold's impact, saying he helped redefine mainstream rock by blending post-grunge sound with emotionally direct songwriting that connected with everyday listeners, creating moments of connection, joy, faith, and shared experiences that will outlive him. In May 2025, Arnold shared with fans that he had stage 4 clear cell renal cell carcinoma that had spread to his lung. "That's not real good," he said candidly, before adding, "We serve a mighty God, and he can overcome anything. So
I remember that face, like him singing and looking just like that is how I remember him from Three Doors Down. It is sad. I love your face too, Hio. I just read your post. You're 100% correct. Predators will never be rehabilitated, in my honest opinion. I agree with that too.
no fear. I really, sincerely am not scared of it at all." Arnold formed Three Doors Down in Mississippi in 1996, writing Kryptonite while still in high school. Re-released in 1999, the song shot to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and helped push their debut album, The Better Life, to 7 million copies sold.
Wow.
Despite lineup changes and controversy, Arnold remained the heart of the band for nearly 3 decades. His voice shaped an era of rock, and it will echo long after the final chord. Comment and let us know what Three Doors Down song will always remind you of Brad Arnold.
Arnold was born September 27th of 1978, formed Three Doors Down in his hometown of Escawapata, Mississippi, with friends Todd Harrell and bassist on bass, and Matt Roberts on lead guitar. Roberts died in 2016 of a prescription drug overdose. And that's one of those times, like if somebody had Narcan, his life might have been saved. You want to go there. Go to Mod Chat. I posted a man who was out on bond for CSAM was just arrested on the 6th for 40 counts of CSAM. This was his third charge of CSAM, one in 2020, 2022, and 2026. I saw a video this morning going to that too. I'll definitely check it out. I love Kryptonite too. Hey, Jenny Jen, A1 from day one. My love, good to see you. Although Three Doors Down breakthrough song Kryptonite didn't become a hit until 2000, Arnold wrote the song while sitting in high school algebra class when he was a teen, creating its rolling drum beat by tapping on the desk. And that's really interesting. In 2021 interview with American Songwriter, Arnold marveled at the song's appeal more than 20 years after its release through an anecdote about a then recent live show. Quote, "There were probably 10,000 people at that show, but in the first 150 feet of the crowd, there wasn't anyone that wasn't over the age of 18. He said, "They were just jamming to Kryptonite. And when the song got over, I was just laughing. I was like, yo, that's so awesome. I said, that song is older than every person here. Those kids' parents were playing it. So they had been hearing it their entire lives." That's crazy. So he's saying a bunch of kids were in the first 150 feet of the crowd. And this was 2021. Yeah. So the kids had been hearing it their whole lives and they were just singing along. That is really cool to experience that. Between 2000 and 2016, Arnold and Three Doors Down released 6 studio albums, debuting with The Better Life. For most of the first decade of the century, they were a constant presence on rock radio with guitar-rooted hits, quote, "It's Not My Time," and the Grammy nominated "When I'm Gone," and the lights-powered ballad "Here Without You." Three Doors Down released its last album in 2016 called Us in the Night, which debuted at number 14 on the Billboard 200 albums chart and spawned singles In the Dark and Still Alive. Arnold spoke frequently about his recovery from alcoholism as well as his faith. In January of 2025, he told Pastor Alan Jackson on the Culture and Christianity podcast that a few years ago he heard Jesus say, quote, "I want you to tell them that I love them this summer," unquote, prior to one of the band's tours. Arnold started his sobriety journey in 2014 and called the country legend Charlie Daniels for help with his addiction. The pair had become friends during a songwriting session, and Arnold heeded Daniels' advice to go to rehab in Nashville. Quote, "I used to think drinking was a way to calm myself prior to a show or to chase loneliness," Arnold told Charleston.com in 2023, quote, "There's not one aspect of my life that isn't better due to my sobriety." Arnold and the band launched the Better Life Foundation in March of 2004 as a way to make positive changes in the lives of children and young adults. The organization raised money for a variety of groups that benefited communities and children in need, with the biggest source of fundraising being a special concert weekend. Guest performers over the years included Leonard Skinner, Daughtry, Shinedown, and Stained. The Better Life Foundation has given me a better life for sure, Arnold told a magazine in 2021, quote, all the money that goes into that comes from fans, but being able to see what that's done over the years has definitely enriched my life. I pray for his wife and his children, if he had any, and his bandmates. Hey, the real Norbeaster, good to see you. So we're about to get there. I was giving people time to come in, and we were talking about 3 Doors Down. Indy, good to see you. Let me write down my timestamp. So let me explain to you what happened. We'll go back over here. So you guys had told me when we were going over, now we're going to go to the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case, the whole reason for this show. You guys had told me that Niche had had information, had the sheet. There was a sheet where Daniel said in the interview of the video that I put out that it's not criminal, and he was happy that they checked the box that was not criminal. So I messaged Niche and I said, hey, I'm looking for this paper that people were saying that you have. Do you happen to have that? And she said something like, yeah, she had one, but the redactions were really bad. And so I was like, okay. She said, I do have another one where like it was really blurry or something. The first one was really, hold on. I actually can read you exactly what it said. Let me go back. Hold on just a minute. Let me not get it wrong. Not that one. Okay. I said, hey, my chat told me today you have the document Daniel signed that refers to his most recent January 6th interview. I looked on your Patreon and I didn't see it. I wanted to use it and give you credit, of course. Do you know what I'm talking about, and do you have it? I'm making a video on that and Malaya's friend's statements. I don't know if you saw that yet, but it's out. Thanks, Jess. She said, I deleted the screenshots that were sent because they were blurry and I got a migraine from looking at them. I did put information into a series of slides, though, if you want them. I only use the slides on my channel because people were saying that the document wasn't supposed to be out, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to read everything word for word. I said, awesome, thank you. I'll go through the playlist because she referred me to playlist. She said, I discovered this morning that I had the latest rounds of lifted redactions sitting in my inbox for the past month, so I've just uploaded them to Patreon for people to grab for free. So that's what I have. Allegedly, there's a channel that has this page too, and they're trying to sell it for like $47 on Patreon, which I think is completely fucked up. Yeah, Nisha's Patreon is freaking amazing. So I'm going to drop this link in chat. This is for Niche True Crime. If you guys have not. First Liberties podcast. Good to see you and thank you for being here. If you guys have not checked out Niche, definitely check her out. I just dropped her link. Go give her a like and subscribe, and I will give you a link to her Patreon. I did watermark these, but that's only because I want you guys to go to her Patreon and get it if you want it. I'm not even putting this document on my Patreon because she got it. I got it from her. So let me grab her Patreon, and I'm about to drop that link now. I also asked her, I was like, okay, is it okay for me to share this? Like, will I get in trouble with the police or anything for sharing this? She said no. She has a friend at the RCMP, so we shouldn't get in trouble for having it. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Yeah, honker. I don't know. I have an idea, but niche. I always say it wrong. Tiny Mo, good to see you. Thank you guys for subscribing to her. Yeah, so let me grab this document. Oh, dang it. There it is. Nope. Not that one. Not that one. Holy crap. Okay. I'm going to pull this up while I grab the watermarked ones because I really want you guys to go subscribe to her and check her out to get these documents. I really don't want to share them without the watermark because I really want you guys to go check her out, and I want you guys to go subscribe to her Patreon and look out for her because she provides this stuff for free over there, and I think that's a really awesome thing to do. I don't know if I'm out of your line of sight. Let me send these watermark ones to myself. Okay, so when I pull it up, I'll be able to show you kind of what it says. And it sends sometimes I have to send it fucking twice. Here, we'll look at this while we wait. So this is her Patreon. Like, she has a paid access, but right here are the Jack and Lilly lifted redactions, and it's just on patreon.com. Oh my God. Okay, this is getting frustrating. All right, let's go back here. I guess you guys will have to check her out. So this is what the document looks like. Okay. So it says redactions and application to be lifted. Redactions to be lifted in 2025-117. Then we got 18 CIV, and it gives us what it says. There's 3 pages of these, okay? I'm sorry that they're not watermarked. Please go check her out. She deserves, I want to make sure I give her all the credit for this. So this redacted list of this list of redactions that are now lifted goes with this document. AJ Matt, good to see you. Yeah, I have a Patreon that costs $5 to join, and I drop all of my documents, all of my videos there, but that helps me with FOIA requests. The fact that somebody is selling it for $47, this document right here that you can get for free on Nisha's Patreon, which I think is very commendable of Niche. I think that's a really awesome, sweet thing for her to do, allow people to get it for free. The fact that somebody else is selling it for $47 is disgusting to me. I also heard that allegedly they claim to have deleted their lowest tier of memberships, and if you try to rejoin their memberships, there's nothing that costs the same amount anymore. They've all been raised, which is extremely hard to do. You don't accidentally delete a whole section of memberships. Like, you have to go through like 4 or 5 pages in your YouTube studio and like click a couple of times that you want to delete it. And it makes sure to, like, there's a whole entire pop-up that's like, once you do this, it's going to be gone. Your members will lose their memberships. Like, you don't accidentally delete a tier of memberships. And then when people try to join back, it's all more expensive than it was originally. That just don't happen. If it is who I think it is, then I haven't fucked with them anyway. I don't even look at their videos. I went over there one time and they acted kind of snotty, so I just didn't go back. Stephanie, good to see you. And Blue Giraffes, good to see you. Karen, good to see you. I hope you're having a great day too. I'm sorry you're having a hard day, and I hope it gets better. Okay, so this lifted redaction document goes with this, right? And we've been over this. It's basically information that the RCMP put out on the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case. So I was going through it and I was like, okay, is this the first one? But it's not. So I guess that stuff is still redacted, or it might have previously been unredacted. I don't have that information, right? So all of this is still redacted unless there's a document out there somewhere where it's unredacted. But here I started to see numbers, right? 11, 12, 13, 14. So I went down, right? So we're at 18 right here. This is witness statements of step-grandmother, mother, and stepfather. Now, we're going to go through and see these redactions, but let me be the first to tell you that the RCMP did not send me this document. I did not get this from Corporal, etc., right? So I'm assuming they're true. I trust Niche and that they're true, But if it's not, just take it with a grain of salt, because I unless it's nothing against anybody else, but unless I get the document handed to me from like a court of law or an officer, then I don't, it is what it is. I believe it to be true. That's why I'm sharing it with you guys. So the first redaction says 18 CIV. So we're going to go over here and we're going to find 18. That's all B. Now we got C. And then CIV is right here. So it says Janie provided some background information starting at the beginning of C. Janie was concerned about the timeline because there was no way the kids could have walked from the yard up to the road where Daniel was in the vehicle without her seeing them. Janie said when the kids were in the yard, she usually watched them the most. Now, this is still redacted. I don't know what that says. It continues. She said the kids were in school on Monday and Tuesday because the bus picked them up right outside of their house. Wednesday was an in-service day and they were home, but they went to their grandmother's house to do laundry and didn't get home until 10 p.m. Thursday, they didn't go to school, but were in the yard playing through the day, and she gave them snacks. Janie said Malaya and Daniel are having financial difficulties, and then this is redacted. Now, if we go over here where it says 18 CIV, it says, Janie said Malaya and Daniel are having financial difficulties. Janie said she is of the opinion that Malaya's side of the family had, quote, something to do with it, unquote, because they did not take part in the search and were not letting them see the baby. Now, I find that interesting because Malaya's friend talked about going over there that day to help with the search. And Cindy, somebody commented on my video and was talking about Cindy, and they had pointed out that Cindy like fusses at the girl in the pink shirt in the interview when she's crying. She's like, why are you crying? And they, said that they think she has something to do with it. I personally am not of the belief that they had anything to do with it because most of them have passed polygraph tests. I don't see them being of the intellectual level to be able to pass polygraph tests like a sociopath. No offense to them. I genuinely think these children were abducted, but I find it interesting when that person pointed out that Cindy was like, why are you crying? Don't cry. I mean, it's an upsetting situation. Why wouldn't you cry? And then to see that Jamie's saying that she thinks Malaya's family had something to do with it because they weren't letting them see the baby, I find really interesting too. Now, could it be just infighting and she's upset with Daniel and all of this? Of course, it could be just things like that. She's hurt. Daniel was supposed to be watching the kids. He wasn't, we don't know until the kids are found, right? But it's interesting that Janie thinks that. She's the one that has a lot of contact with them. Happy Turtle said, I've actually got to go put my boy on an airplane to go back to work. I have to watch the rest on replay later. Okay, love. Well, be safe on the airplane. The Real Norbeaster said, if there's one consistent thing so far, it's the use of the word it. What's it, Janie? That's true. You think Jamie's evil. I think Jamie might be misunderstood, but to be fair, she didn't get she was, I think, the only one that couldn't get a lie detector test because of the way she's so I don't know how to explain it. Loud, aggressive, nervous. I don't know. Weird. So again, right here, Jamie said, I'll read it over here. Jamie said Malaya and Daniel are having financial difficulties. Jamie said she is of the opinion that Malaya's side of the family had something to do with it because they did not take part in the search and were not letting them see the baby. Continuing, Jamie said Jack would not go for a walk on his own. She said Jack and Lilly and Daniel went for walks in the woods all the time, and they had to carry Jack sometimes because he got tired and would just sit in one place. Jamie said she does not believe the kids are in the woods. Now we have 19. Our next place on the redactions is 19C III. So 19 is titled, Malaya provided 4 statements to police. 2 statements were provided on May 2nd of 2025, 1 on May 3rd of 2025, and 1 on May 4th of 2025. The following is a summary of what she said. If we go down to C, III, she had redacted in New Glasgow the afternoon on Thursday and said she and Daniel went with all the kids. They drove her 2017 white Nissan Pathfinder. They went to the big stop for gas, and she thought they might have gotten the kids bagels at Tim Hortons. Daniel stayed in the car with the kids while she got redacted. Then they went to Starbucks drive-thru before going home. Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all couldn't see the page. This is what I was just reading. You see the two redactions. The lifted redactions page says, she had blood work in New Glasgow the afternoon on Thursday. She said she and Daniel went with all the kids. They drove her 2017 white Nissan Pathfinder. They went to the big stop for gas, and she thought that they might have gotten the kids bagels at Tim Hortons. Daniel stayed in the car with the kids when she got blood work, and they went to a Starbucks drive-thru before going home. Do you guys remember seeing, you know how most of the time if you get blood work, they'll put like a little thing there and then you hold your arm like that until it stops? I don't remember seeing that, but if she had taken that off by the time the kids were missing, you wouldn't see anything. I find that interesting. So she got blood work done. You think Janie and Daniel had something to do with it? See, I don't think Daniel did. But, you know, you're free to share your thoughts and opinions here. We're very respectful for everybody. Scratch the Paint said, I think Janie knew she couldn't take a polygraph. I think her personality and physiology made it to where she couldn't. But I will say I find it interesting that the person who was supposed to be living with her, Daniel's brother or something, was no longer there. No longer mentioned after the very beginning. Okay. Now, the lifted redaction says 19G triple I. So let's jump back over here and continue reading. In the evening, she was going to do some cleaning, but she was too tired. The kids were watching a show on TV. She put Lily and Jack to bed first, then Meadow, and then went to bed herself. Malaya said they were late getting to bed that night and went to bed around 9. They usually go to bed around 7. Lily was wearing a pink sweater and pink pajamas with white shapes and a Barbie top with pink socks. Her hair was shoulder length and her backpack was beside her. Jack was wearing black sweatpants, a t-shirt, and a diaper as he was only partially trained. Daniel stayed up. He said he was going to clean the house for her. He said he was going to clean the house for her, but it wasn't clean when she got up, so she doesn't know what he did. Normally, he did little projects around the house at night and fixed things. This is redacted, and if we jump over here, I don't see where that is unredacted. It's G, subsection G, and we're at subsection C still. Malaya said that she was not woken up throughout the night and does not know when Daniel came to bed. I find it interesting that Daniel was up that night. You know, there allegedly was some drug use going on at the house. I'm wondering if he was high and he was planning on cleaning up but didn't. He's claimed to have since gotten help with that addiction, I think, or not to be on drugs at all. I don't know. I hope he's gotten the help he needed if he did need it. Continuing with the document, I do want to let you guys know that this document is available on Patreon as well for free. And I'm usually the first to tell you that, like, you can go get these documents. If you see something I don't, you could start if you have a name like Helen, good to see you and nice to meet you. You can start a YouTube channel. You can get these documents for free on Nisha's Patreon, and you can go start your channel if you want to. Read it out, see what people think. Continuing, D, she continued by giving a detailed description of what happened on Friday. On Friday morning, Malaya's alarm went off at 6 a.m. and another one at 6:15, which was when she used the school app to mark them out sick for the day. Malaya then went back to sleep. Daniel and Meadow were still sleeping, and there was no other noise in the house. Malaya heard the kids playing in their bedroom around 8 a.m. They woke Meadow up, so she took her into bed and turned the TV on for her and then faded in and out of sleep. The kids were giggling, laughing, and talking to each other. The kids were in the room right next to theirs, so they were loud. Around 9:40, she heard silence and told Daniel she didn't hear the kids. They got up together and checked in the living room and outside and started yelling for them. When they didn't hear any answers, she called 911 at 10 a.m. She had to turn off Wi-Fi to get the bars of cell service and call from one spot in the house where there is good service. Daniel walked around yelling for them to see if he would get a reply and eventually took her Nissan Pathfinder to go looking for them in the woods. Janie was also out looking for them. She had the baby, so she could not go look. I found that interesting because per Janie, Malaya was standing in the yard where she was doing the digging for the pool when she was on the phone with 911. Yet I've seen Daniel on the Drunk Turkey show, and he seems to be sitting in like a booth type seat, which I would assume to be in their kitchen at their kitchen table. So where is it that they get good service? Is it outside in the driveway or is it in the kitchen? Because if it's in the kitchen, in the booth area where Daniel was sitting at, and she's calling 911 from there, how the hell is she in the driveway where Janie is? And if she's in the driveway where Janie is, that's not in the house where she alleges there's good cell service. So I have a question. Hey, Heathen, good to see you. Said, hey, I've been in the bushes just now getting a chance to chat. Well, it's good to see you, sweetheart, and I'm glad you're here. Janie's said, I just saw somewhere that Daniel got arrested for a few things. I'm going to see if I can find it so I don't misquote. No, you're good. He got arrested for assault, sexual assault, and forcible confinement. And this incident happened in December of 2024, I do believe. It's 2023 or 2024. We speculated that it may be related to Malaya because the most recent round of redactions came out and said that he was physical and he would take her phone and sometimes it would hurt. And so we wondered if Malaya was pressing charges. Now, during that time period, he would have been with Malaya. So we assume that it's Malaya pressing charges. Why is Malaya just now pressing charges for that stuff? Because it hit the news? Like, that doesn't make sense because the RCMP had that information since shortly after the children went missing. So why is she just pursuing charges on that now, if she is? So I don't know. 2024. Thank you, Jenny Jen. She always knows. She's my timekeeper. She'll keep me right on the time frame and timeline. Marilyn said Daniel was arrested for assault and some other lovely things. That is true. Rosie, good to see you. Yes, ma'am, Helen. Thank you for being here. Okay. Malaya says she did not think the kids had changed their clothes from the night before, and Lily's backpack was gone, so she assumed she had it with her. She described it as a corduroy cream-colored backpack with strawberries on it. Lily and Jack's boots were gone. Lily was wearing size 13 rainbow pink boots, and Jack was wearing size 10 blue dinosaur boots. Regarding their normal routine, she said the following. She clarified on a regular morning when the kids go to school, she is up at 6:15. She gets the kids ready, fed, and their teeth brushed before having them out to the bus by 7:28. The bus stops in their driveway. She also clarified their sleeping arrangements. Meadow, Daniel, and Malaya share a room. Lily and Jack share a room, but they divided it in two because they would be up at all hours of the night when it was an open concept. Redacted are Daniel's children. They do not normally live with them. They do not normally live with them. They stay with their mom. They were not there at all the week Lily and Jack went missing. Then we have Ivy. I saw something about the custody on this page, but I don't think that's it. No, the next one is G. So we got to get to G. This next one is redacted. F. Regarding the children in general, Malaya said the following. Lily and Jack did not have a relationship with their biological father. He had not seen them since October of 2021 when Malaya left him because redacted. He did not pay child support. All of this is redacted. Now we're at G. Regarding Daniel, Malaya said the following. They have been together 3 years. So which one is it on G again? It's triple I. So the second I is still completely redacted. This part right here. And then this one is the one that's now unredacted. Daniel worked every Monday at redacted hardwood sawmill. They were having a hard time getting wood in, so he only worked 1 day a week. What it says is Daniel worked every Monday at Group Savoy in Westville, the hardwood sawmill. Now our next one is GH. I don't know what this means, where it's got like 67, 68, 70, 82, 83, 84, 87, 109, 110, 111, 112, para 8 CIV. I mean, 18 CIV. This is 18 CIV. It says concordance. Anyways, Our next redaction is 19H, 19 subsection H. So this continues. She said when he was not working, Daniel would help his mother with building the fence and bringing in wood because they use wood to heat. She said he is an involved parent and would help her, especially when she was overwhelmed. He was not aggressive with the kids, but had a voice they listened to. There was never any physical discipline. This is still redacted. H is the next part that's unredacted. The original document reads, they discussed what happened earlier that day. Malaya said she went to the police command post to see what was happening firsthand. And then it's redacted. The now lifted redaction reads, they discussed what happened earlier that day. Malaya said she went to the police command post to see what was happening firsthand. She started feeling sick, personal information, and needed medical attention. Started feeling sick and needed medical attention. I don't find that out of the realm of possibility. If your children are missing and they're not being located, I would probably feel sick too, because my mind's going to go to what could be happening, where could they be, why can't we find them? Alex, good to see you. I would love to know Daniel's preferred substance. Allegedly it was meth. Excuse me. Content, my bonus children, they listen to, well, their daddy babies them. I kind of have to be the disciplinary because he works a lot. So they prefer their dad sometimes because I have to be the disciplinary when it comes to us. I don't know if they listen. They listen to him better, but he's a very calm, mild-mannered man. So he'll have a family meeting and talk to them. So it's a little different. I hope Abellis is getting some rest too. I'm going between 3 lives. Oh, no, you're good, Shelby, sweetheart. You do what you got to do. I appreciate you coming in. I don't think it's a secret. It's apparently math. Yeah. All right, continuing. Our next redaction is 20 subsection B, subsection IV, subsection 1. Let's continue. Okay. She said there's currently a lot of conflict between her and Daniel's sides of the family. She provided the following information. Daniel's family wanted her to bring the baby to stay with them, but she thought the correct decision was to stay with her mother. Daniel pulled her aside and tried to convince her to stay, but she told him she was going with her mother. This part is still redacted. She did not know of any conflicts in their family's lives that would cause the children to be missing. Malaya said she had not spoken with Daniel since May 3rd of 2025. She has him blocked and has not opened his Snapchat messages. 20. Malaya provided a 5th statement to Constable McIntyre on May 9th of 2025. The following is a summary. So, B. Okay, so all of this is still redacted, but it reads, Malaya again recounted what happened on Thursday night before the kids went missing. She says she put Jack and Lilly to bed and then went with Meadow. Redacted. She continued to what happened Friday morning, which was the same account she provided in her previous statements. In addition to what was already said, she provided the following new information. She said, when Daniel was looking for the kids, he opened the front door. He had put a wrench on top of the door the night before, and it didn't fall down. So Daniel said they must have gone out of the back sliding door. The door was shut, but the kids would normally leave it open if they went outside because it was so heavy. There are times when they would close it. Malaya said Lily and Jack did not normally wander off on their own. They would if blank were there, but not by themselves. Malaya said that she had a conversation with Janie in the yard and told her the kids were missing. Janie got ready and went to look for them. She told Malaya she heard them outside playing and Daniel yelling. Malaya said she does not think she opened her phone or sent any messages around that time. She did call her mother and her grandmother after she called police. She said she used Text Plus because it allowed Wi-Fi calling. She since deleted the app because she doesn't need it anymore. She did not use Text Plus to call 911 because it does not let you. Malaya said during the day, Daniel had erratic behavior towards the police officer, she thought. He was very standoffish, and Daniel thought they weren't doing enough. Interesting. Malaya said she was up late on Friday night. She put Meadow to bed, but then stayed up. Daniel came in and just went to sleep. She thought he was tired from searching all day. She says she only got a couple hours sleep. It was after 3 a.m. the last time she checked her phone, and she was up again around 6 a.m. Now we're at B, where it's unredacted. We're looking for BVI1. B. Constable McIntyre asked Malaya to look onto her phone to confirm her timeline for Thursday. She provided the following information. At 6:29 a.m., Malaya received a message to confirm the kids were marked absent from school. Malaya said it was a slow morning. They didn't do a lot other than get breakfast, watch TV, and play. Malaya had a video call from her mother, Cindy, at 3:37 p.m. on Thursday to see the kids. Cindy would have seen the kids on the phone. Malaya went through and showed Constable McIntyre her banking transactions on Thursday to see if they could narrow down the timeline, but she said Daniel used his card for their purchases that day. Malaya showed Constable McIntyre her Google Map timeline, which tracked her movements on Thursday. She went to the following places. 1. I think this is the one that's unredacted. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't click back. So it says they left home at 12. Yeah. So here it says they left home at 12:10 p.m. and drove for 39 minutes. Then from 12:49 to 1:27, Malaya was shown at a, quote, missing visit, which she thought was her redacted. On the list of redactions, it reads, they left home at 12:10 p.m., drove for 39 minutes, then went to from 12:49 to 1:27. Malaya was shown at a missing visit, which she thought was her blood work appointment. Now we got 20 CV. This continues. They went to Dollarama at 1:44. She said she went in and grabbed a few things. They went to Lawton's at 2:48. She remembered they picked up some Tylenol and diaper rash cream for Meadow because she was teething. They drove between 2:52 and 3:11 and arrived at home. That evening, she got the kids something to eat, and they were watching TV. She said they might have gone outside sometime to play, but they came back in when it was getting dark. She got their teeth brushed, and they wore clothes to bed because all the clothes were still in bags from when she washed them at her grandmother's house, and she hadn't got around to putting them away. Lily and Jack were hyper and excited, but she got them tucked into bed around 10 p.m. Jack had his blanket and his dinosaur, and she shut his door. This is still redacted. Lily went to bed with her backpack. This is still redacted. Malaya and Meadow went to bed. Once Meadow was asleep, she put her in the crib and went to sleep herself. Now, this is now unredacted down here. Let me see what y'all are saying. Allie X said, I wonder if Daniel's manic behavior is because of math or does he have an untreated bipolar possibility? Diagnosis can take a while. I think it could very well possibly be both. Oh, it's okay, sweetheart. Yeah, Marilyn M. Again, it was possible because of niche, so I greatly appreciate her. Hey, Heather Marie, good to see you. Love and light to you too. Unless we have, yeah, just make sure to say in your opinion. It helps protect us all. If it is math, that makes me more suspicious than if it was H. I think drugs are typically the same. I don't know. I don't think that they're different. Like, I think because, I used H, right? And I would never hurt a fly. Like, even when I was on that, I would have not hurt a fly. I would walk into Walmart and I would steal something in a heartbeat or, whatever. I'd walk into a business. I never stole from a person, but to a store, and I would steal something in a damn heartbeat to get some money. But that was all I did. And, they had insurance to cover that. So I thought, but like hurting people or anything, I never would have done it. I think that, that there has to be something in you for you to hurt people. I don't think it's necessarily the drugs. The drugs would lower your inhibitions to where, like, if you thought about it but never act on it, you would be more prone to act on it, but it still has to be something in you. I think drugs are drugs regardless. But to be fair, if I'm thinking about it, a lot of shit happens on math that ends up in the news, bad shit, as opposed to H. But I could just be not looking into H as well. Southern Cat said, I'm wondering about the video call and the phone only working in certain areas. Me too. Me too. Hyper and excited doesn't sound like sick kids who needed to stay home from school. I agree with that 100%.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
100%. And that's exactly what it says. Ninchi. I try. Y'all tell me all the time how to say it correctly, and I still mess it up every single time. You think so? Y'all think so, does it? Math and bipolar can produce the same psychosis. Yeah. Maybe it is. I don't know. All right, continuing. C. Malaya and Constable McIntyre looked at the Google Map timeline for Wednesday on Malaya's phone and learned the following about her day. The whole family left the house at 12:51 p.m. and went to the Irving Oil in Westville, where they got $20 of fuel. They drove to Malaya's grandmother's house and arrived at 2:01. At 3:18 p.m., I'm sorry, she went to Access Nova Scotia in Truro Heights with Meadow to get a plate for her car. Daniel and the kids stayed at her grandmother's house. They went to the Ultramar in Millbrook to get gas, and she stopped to get a vape for Daniel at High Grade. At 7:54, they went to Walmart and picked up groceries. The whole family went together. This V is now unredacted. The original reads, they stopped at Redacted in Truro and then went to her grandmother's at 9:19 to drop off her bank card. That's 9:19 p.m. What it says is they stopped at Scotia Bank in Truro and then went to her grandmother's at 9:19 p.m. to drop off her bank card. Now we're at 20 EI. So we're going to go back over here. D, Malaya provided more background on their living situation. She said they moved to the trailer on Daniel's mother's property. This is all still redacted, and we don't have that. Again, our next one is E. I. Write it down so I'll know when we get there. Malaya said Daniel's father owned over 100 acres of land out near Barney's River, which is a wooded lot. All of this is still redacted. Wait a minute. CD. Where's E? This goes to 21. EI. Where's 20 EI? Am I missing it? Bruh. Okay. Well, this reads, she said they moved onto the trailer on Daniel's mother's property after he had a falling out with her grandmother around August of 2023. 20 EV says, when asked if Daniel was physically abusive, Malaya said he would try to block her, hold her down, and once he pushed her. She said he would also take her phone from her when she tried to call her mom, which would sometimes be physical and hurt. So when I read that, after everything that we've heard recently about the redactions that hit the media that painted Daniel as when Malaya talks about him being abusive and then he says he wasn't abusive, I think this is the document that they got a hold of. The Northeaster said fantasies of our people in text to women, Ged saying if I did have something to do with the kids, it would definitely be dead. If I did have something to do with it, the kids would definitely be deceased. Pattern of abuse from other partners. His own kids say he abused them. I'm going to star this and we're going to come back to that. Patterns don't lie. My issue with all of that, like, let's say that he is this horrible person. Keep in mind, he's getting charged for something that happened in 2024, and it happened right after this redaction was put out. The one we just read specifically. When asked if Daniel was physically abusive, Malaya said he would try to block her or hold her down, and once he pushed her. She said he would also try to take her phone from her when she tried to call her mom, which will sometimes be physical and hurt. Yes, that's physical abuse. I've heard that his kids said that he was physically abusive. He might have spanked them or something. I don't know. He might have gotten a little bit angry when he was detoxing or because he was on meth. I get that. I just cannot fathom him passing a lie detector test and he had something to do with the kids and the recent charges of SA and forced confinement. Yeah. But the thing for me is that was from 2024. Why didn't that person press charges then? Why is it after that redaction was unredacted that now they're deciding to press charges? Now that that's in the media, they want to go to the RCMP and press charges. The RCMP have had that since right after the kids went missing. So I don't know. I have to ask that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to stand up for Daniel or anything, but I just can't fathom how he passed a lie detector test if he had anything to do with it. It's definitely possible. I mean, Ted Bundy did, but I don't see him being on the same psychological level as Ted Bundy. You know what I mean? Janie said the lack of sleep from math changes your brain. Paranoia, crazy ideas sound like great ideas. I don't disagree with that. Okay, Cindy, my love. Marilyn said RCMP passed charges. It has begun. A lot of people think that. I don't think that it's going to end up charging him with something to do with the kids. I just don't. But if he did have something to do with it, I hope it does. I hope he does get charged for doing something to the kids. I just don't see that being a possibility right now. I don't think that this is in relation to the children. I don't. I really think it has to do with that information hitting the media and somebody feeling like they needed to do something so they weren't painting it in bad light, whether it be the RCMP or Malaya or some other woman. Yes, it was in these documents. It's in these documents because we read it before. And it's like redacted underneath, but it said that they did pass. There were several versions of the same monster. They aren't all the same, but they all have the ability to pass the lie detector test. It's a possibility. Why? I'm sorry. Too much going on. Hey, Abellis, my love, good to see you. Why what? What was I saying? I don't remember what I said. Type out the question specifically and I'll answer you. Oh, you see a psycho period? I don't. But, I don't. You guys probably see something that I don't, and vice versa. Abellis, we were just talking about you, and it's good to see you. I don't disagree with him being a narcissist. I do think the word is overused, but I think he could be. To me, I see it like a disease. The symptoms aren't the same across, but the common denominator is the disease itself. Except Watts, because he's dumb. Watts was dumb. A dose of Xanax will get a drug test passed. I don't think he'd pass if you were taking Xanax, but could he have taken Xanax and passed the lie detector test? Absolutely. So maybe that's what happened. I don't know. He has all the traits of hovering and abuse and isolation. Yeah, I've been in relationships like that, so I might find it a little bit normal as where other people would be like, oh, that's, not normal at all. So maybe that's why I see it differently. I just don't think, I think he can be all of these things. I think he can be a narcissist. I think he can have abused methamphetamine. I think that he could have held her down and took her phone. Even possibly the charges that he's being charged with. That makes him an awful human being if he did that. And they're charging him with it. So evidently they have enough information to think he did it. He could be all of those things, but that doesn't mean he killed the children in my mind. I didn't ever think about that. Xanax suppressing the psychological response, hence passing. I didn't think about that. That's a possibility. Hey, Sam Brown, good to see you, love. Indy, good to see you. Whatever happened with the supposed party the night before the children disappeared. So I had copies of that. It was Wednesday night. Somebody wrote on Facebook, I'm not one to judge. I have the comment on my computer, but Lord, it would take me forever and a day to find it through all my files, but I'll look for it and try to post it. It was a post on Facebook that was like, I'm not one to judge, but there were so many cars there on Wednesday night that it looked like they were having a party and probably all sharing a crack pipe. And they were parked all along the side of the road. And, it wasn't long after that the kids go missing. My issue with that has always been, in the beginning, it says, I'm a neighbor and I live about 500 feet from them. I remember that. It's just like 500 feet. And it just sounded like to me somebody trying to make themselves sound Canadian, like trying too hard. Because I don't know, I've known several Canadians. My best friend that I rented property from before we moved here was Canadian from Nova Scotia. And she would say A if she was talking really fast and just caught up in the moment, but she never texted the word A to me, and we text all the time. Like it's not. And then the measurement of feet, they use meters, was weird for me too. But Abella said that they do use feet sometimes. I mean, yeah, feet sometimes. Marilyn, what's up? You said I'm as sure as of Daniel as I was of Stephen Stearns. Just saying. What was your question? Because you asked me why. Honest question. What was your question before you leave? I'm Nova Scotian, Cape Breton to be exact. That's super cool. You text A for fun? Really? Have you ever texted A to anybody? I thought they lived in the middle of nowhere. They do, a very rural area. It did sound staged to me. There's a chance he didn't, but with all taken into account, the chances are very high. Yeah, I mean, I think that if he did have something to do with it, he would have been arrested. But he just got arrested. Signs of innocence from Daniel would be solely the lie detector test, passing the lie detector test, which I didn't think about taking Xanax. And the fact that he's out here looking for them, but it could be all a ruse too. I'll be very interested to see what happens when they find the kids. I don't think he's completely innocent. I think that he could have very well assaulted somebody, possibly SA'd them and confined them, because the RCMP is not going to press charges like that if they don't have enough evidence to prove that he did that. I think that he did abuse meth and that he was an abusive person, and that he could have been slightly abusive to the kids. I've said from the beginning that they were slightly neglectful because the kids were outside by themselves. And for them to be outside by themselves, I don't think it was the first time, but they're in a rural area, so they probably thought they were safe. The fact that I think he didn't have anything to do with the kids' homicide doesn't mean that I think that he's a good person or completely innocent of everything. I think he did do some fucked up shit. I just don't think he killed the kids. I'd have to know more about him to make a more informed judgment on everything else. Okay, so our next one is 21DIV. Continuing with the document. So I guess it was like these redacted parts that we just read, which again said, she said they moved to the trailer on Daniel's mother's property after he had a falling out with her grandmother around August of 2023. When asked if Daniel was physically abusive, Malaya said he would try to block her, hold her down, and once he pushed her. She said he would also take her phone from her when she tried to call her mom, which would sometimes be physical and hurt. Malaya said Daniel's father owned over 100 acres of land out near Barney's River, which is a wooded lot. Now we're at 21. Daniel provided two statements to police on May 2nd of 2025 and May 4th of 2025. The following is a summary of what he said. Daniel said Malaya took the baby, Meadow, and left with her family. She blocked him on social media and he couldn't get in contact with her. Daniel said he rarely used or checked his phone, but he has done so more in the last 3 days since the kids went missing. When asked about Friday morning, Daniel said the following. Daniel said he was in the bedroom with Malaya and Meadow, who were in bed with him. Lily came in a couple of times, but he did not check his phone to see what time. The television was on and it was daylight outside. Lily didn't say anything. She would just open the door and look in and then leave again. She did that 2 or 3 times. They used to remind her not to rush into the room because they wanted to make sure Meadow got good sleep. Sometimes the kids would wake her up. Daniel said he got up and he didn't hear the kids. He thought it was only a few minutes since Lily last poked her head in the door. He went out and saw the back sliding door was closed. The kids didn't usually close it when they went outside. Their boots were gone. Daniel ran around the house looking for them, but they were not there. Malaya got up when he got up as well and was looking for the kids. Daniel ran outside, but they were not in the yard and he couldn't see them. He got in a car and drove around, then ran around the woods looking for them. He searched for hours. He said he did not look at the time and didn't even take his phone. Regarding Thursday, Daniel said, I trust the kids. I trust the kids when they say, that he was abusive. Because to them, he could have been abusive, coming down off of meth or something. I'm sure it would make him more angry and hostile. And it's not spanking them, if he spanked them, comes to mind. I mean, and to be fair, there was black eyes on Jack, and the school called CPS several times because that was in some of the documents. So I don't know where he kept getting these black eyes from, and the kid saying he's abusive paints it in a fucking really bad light. It also could be that he spanked them or something, and the kids felt like that was abuse, which I don't necessarily agree with, but it's not illegal to spank your children. So I didn't see all of the concrete in the yard. DJ, no, this is court documents from the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case. It's nice to meet you. As far as the kid's disappearance, his presence trying to keep the media on the children, him agreeing to take the polygraph, talking openly, I don't know. I just don't think he did anything. I think that's where I'm at with it. I'm on a seesaw with Daniel. Are you Southern Cats? Sometimes you believe him, sometimes you don't. Miss King of Anything, good to see you. I wonder what the falling out was about. I think they argued about who was supposed to be up taking care of the children. Daniel's brother is another story. Him, I don't trust at all. And where did he go? He was supposedly living with Janie, and then all of a sudden is no longer talked about at all ever. That's curious as fuck to me, too. Excuse me. All right. Regarding Thursday, Daniel said, the kids did not go to school because Malaya thought Lily was sick. They all left home around lunchtime and got gas at the Circle K in Alma. They then went through Tim Hortons drive-thru for food. Daniel said he thought the kids were sleeping. They drove to Truro and went to Malaya's grandmother's house to do laundry and spent most of the day there. They then went shopping at Walmart and got food. You see where the next redaction is. I wrote it down. 21DIV. Damn it, it's separated. I hate when it does that. Okay, it's down here. So it continues. They left her grandmother's around 9:30 and got home around 10:30. They then put the kids to bed. Daniel said he thought Malaya put them to bed. He didn't know what they were wearing because they were underneath the covers when he checked on them. Daniel said he thought he went to bed fairly early that night. See, that part's always been weird to me. I'm going to read this without talking this time. Daniel said he thought he went to bed fairly early that night and didn't wake up until it was light the next morning. He remembered getting an email that Malaya had marked the kids absent from school on his phone around 6:18 a.m. on Friday. Now, that part is sus as fuck because Malaya said that he stayed up that night and was supposed to clean the kitchen for her, but didn't. He's saying he went to bed like a Boy Scout at freaking 9 o'clock and didn't get up until the next morning. Which one's lying? That's always been weird to me from the time I found that out. The real Norbeaster said most criminals stay close to the case to look innocent. The brain sees behavior like a pendulum. Your brain will say, this is the case, so I have to act the opposite. It's possible. It's definitely happened before. They had gravel for a pool, apparently. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's a look for me. It's a look at me. I'm a nice person helping look over there. Yeah. It's definitely happened before. I mean, the grandmother, that falling out is why they moved. Yeah, I correlate that to possible drug use or bipolar. I think he could definitely be bipolar. You got that from the behavior panel? Behavior panel is good. Okay. Now, this is the part that was redacted. That's going to be now unredacted. The redacted version said, Daniel later said Malaya had to get redacted on Thursday between 12:40 and 1:40. So he thought they must have done that before they went to Churro. It says, Daniel later said Malaya had to get blood work on Thursday between 12:40 and 1:40. So he thought they must have done that before they went to Churro. Our next one is 21E. Let's go back over here. Oh, and it's the very next one. Daniel could not remember if they went to town on Wednesday or not. He said he had a conversation with someone who was helping his... Wait, let me try that again. Daniel could not remember if they went to town on Wednesday or not. He said he had a conversation with someone who was helping his with the redacted, but he thought that was on Tuesday. So the unredacted version says, Daniel could not remember if they went to town on Wednesday or not. He said he had a conversation with someone who was helping his with the custody papers for his other children, personal information. But he thought that was on Tuesday. So he's trying to get custody of the other children. And then this happens. That's interesting. That would make me question whether the other children's, like, where was the other children's mother at? Has anybody questioned her? Could she have made something happen so he didn't get custody of the kids? Although I don't think he would have gotten custody of the kids. That's probably like the fringe, like way conspiracy theory way out there. Probably not anything to that at all. I don't get any guilty vibes from Daniel. In my opinion, they got fucked up and slept too late and someone took the children. Maybe they walked down the street and someone took them, in my opinion. That's where I'm at. That account with the gold sedan, the 60-year-old woman with the curly hair and the back door open, coaxing two children walking along the side of the road was enough for me to say somebody took them kids. I think that's exactly what happened. Why did he lie? Why did Deerwood say? I don't believe if Deerwood told me that my motherfucking that the sky was blue and the sun was yellow, I wouldn't believe it until I looked at it myself. That man Deerwood lies to lie. He likes attention. I don't believe a fucking word he said. He said, why did Deerwood say if he did have something to do with it, they would definitely be dead? I think Derwood lies to lie, and I think he likes the attention. Now, if he said that about Daniel, he could be relating it to Daniel's temper or Daniel being hostile or abusive. A lot of reasons. I think he says things to sensationalize them. The brothers' clean boots on the quads after supposedly looking for Lily and Jack, and his relaxed, no-care demeanor are sus to me. 100%.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Child, thank you so much for gifting 5 speculation station memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. And I really, really appreciate that so very much. If you guys were gifted from Chow, please tell Chow thank you. Congratulations to our new members. Thank you so much, Chow, for your support. You are so freaking amazing. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
You are amazing. Thank you so very much. I really, really appreciate that, Chow. That was so super sweet and supportive of you. Happy Monday. Greetings. Greetings. I'm so glad you're here. This is still my favorite true crime channel. I miss your accent. Oh, well, it's good to see you. I missed you being here. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much, Chow, for that. That was super cool and sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate it. All right. So we read E. Our next one is 21 FIV. Let's go back over here. Okay, F. Regarding their family situation, Daniel said they used to live with Malaya's grandmother, but they moved. That's redacted. I'm assuming it's talking about the argument or fight or something that they had in 2023. They moved to Daniel's mother's house, and Daniel's mother moved into the camping trailer on the same property. Daniel's uncle and father live down the road. He has a good relationship with his family. Daniel said Lily and Jack were sheltered, but they always watched them outside, including his mother. His mother would always tell them if they didn't have coats or boots on. See, and the fact that like they were even outside without coats or boots on, and that mom had to tell them to go put coats and boots on the kids tells me that they, again, were slightly neglectful. Like the kids would just go outside. They wouldn't make sure they had those things on. You need to make sure they have them. And school saying that they had to keep clothes at the school for Jack and Lily because they would come without a coat and not dressed appropriately for the weather. I think the kids did a lot of things themselves. And I think they probably got up that morning and were trying to get on the school bus like they had done before, and started walking down the road, and then the person in the gold sedan met them and saw them and picked them up. Unfortunately. I know, I feel like we haven't seen Chow in forever. It's so good to see you. It's been a minute, hasn't it? All right, I think the next one is the one that we have unredacted now. Yes, so IV is completely redacted. Over here, 21 FIV says, Daniel said they were recently fighting about money, and then there's personal information redacted. And then 21 is the investigator's comment. So that's going to be at the bottom. I think that's where I get the stuff about the lie detector test. He said discipline in the house was just talking to the kids and telling them why they could not do things. Daniel said the kids did not listen to Malaya. They only listened to him. He said they did not physically discipline the kids. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. G is redacted and it's still redacted. I do not have that part unredacted. The next one that I have is the investigator's comment. And it reads, I believe Daniel was mistaken when he said they went to Churro on Thursday based on Malaya's statements and her Google timeline. They went to Churro on Wednesday and she had the redacted on Thursday. Or here, I believe Daniel was mistaken when he said they went to Churro on Thursday. Based on Malaya's statements and her Google timeline, they went to Churro on Wednesday and she had the blood work appointment on Thursday. I believe Malaya's account above Daniel's. I definitely believe her account above Daniel's. I believe that he was up that night, which is sus as fuck. Like, he's supposed to be up cleaning the kitchen, and then the kitchen wasn't clean when she got up, and he's saying he went to bed early. That is suspicious. I don't think I don't know. I'm kind of with Southern Cats. I'm on a seesaw about it. I think it was walking distance, but I could be wrong. They say not far, but I think it was relatively close by. Honker said, I wonder if there was dog DNA on the ripped blanket that was hanging off the railing. Was it a fact that they did laundry that night? So they did laundry that Wednesday because that's the day they said they went to grandma's. I think that blanket probably would not have been washed because it was used to block the laundry. Block the air draft from the window or the doors. So they probably didn't wash that blanket. Part of it was on the back porch, and then it was found in the window. I think Lily grabbed that blanket out of the trash or wherever the fuck it was, back porch, trash, some fucking where, and was going to use it for a picnic or something. Or, wrapped it up. I don't know, something to that effect. We'll have a picnic and we'll walk to school. Whatever. She's a child. They don't think, and she was probably carrying it with her, and I think somebody threw it out of the car going down the road, and that's why it was in the trees up the road. Southern Cat said, Abellis, is it possible they were going to Daniel's dad and a woman did pick them up? I didn't think about that. That's a possibility. Depending on how close they were to Daniel's dad or uncle, hell yeah, that could be possible. And I've never thought about that. Interesting. I don't know that she had a terminated pregnancy, love. A little bit of Lisa said, wait. Do they do blood work after a terminated pregnancy? I think so, but I don't think she had a terminated pregnancy. I wonder if he was on corn sites while she was sleeping. Probably. If he was doing math. That sentence where you read she had the redacted followed by the sentence she had the blood work. Let me see. She had the blood work appointment on Thursday. It's personal information, which could be something, but she started feeling sick, personal information, and needed attention. I don't know, love. I hope not. It was very, very well could be. Who was that freaking woman? Someone should come forward. Yep. I hope not. Lord, I hope not. Okay, our next unredacted is 22A. So 22 says, Daniel provided a third statement to police on May 6th of 2025. The following is a summary of what he said. A, Daniel said when the kids went missing, Malaya's mother showed up extremely quickly, even though she was over an hour away. Redacted. He wasn't sure when Malaya called her mother and said it might be a good idea to check her phone to see the time. Okay, so with that statement, that tells me you're implying that she called her mother before the kids went missing and told her to be on the way, because if she showed up extremely quickly and she lives over an hour away and they need to check her phone, why are you trying to frame Malaya from the fucking get-go? The mom might have showed up because you said my grandbabies are missing. I'm flooring it to get there. I know a lot of grandmothers who would. Unredacted part says, Daniel said when the kids went missing, Malaya's mother showed up extremely quickly, even though she was over an hour away in Wentworth. 22F is our next unredacted. B, Daniel said his Google Maps would have his location, and he always kept his location on for Malaya so she knew where he was, and she did the same for him. He said on the second day he had cell phone service when he was searching, and his Google would show his locations. He said he used Google Maps to get out of the woods one time, and he sent Malaya a picture of it. Daniel talked about the areas he searched on the first and second day. He said he went into town and got his friends, Adam and Chance. They helped him with the search on the second day. Daniel said he thought Lily and Jack would only come to him because they were attached to him. Daniel said they never listened to Malaya, only him. Daniel said he is trying to be completely truthful and tell police everything, but it's hard to remember everything exactly as it happened. Daniel said he's having a hard time because his whole family is gone. When asked in detail about Friday morning, Daniel reiterated what he said in his earlier statements. He provided the following further details. Okay, when Lily was sticking her head in and out of the room, he could hear Jack in the kitchen in the background. He did not see him, but he was usually loud and clumsy, so it was easy to hear him. I do not have that part. Got 22A, 22F, 22G. This is 22E. They like to eat and snack all the times, and sometimes would stash away food. Daniel said when he went out to look for the kids in the house, Daniel said when he went out to the look for the kids in the house and realized they weren't there. I don't know why it's worded that way. He went back into his bedroom to get dressed before going outside to look for them. Daniel confirmed the kids could not go out the front door because he had jammed a wrench or a bolt in there to make sure the door didn't open. He said he does that most nights because there's a bear that used to hang around outside. That morning, he had to rip the door open to get out, and the metal piece fell on the floor. So he knew there was no way they could have gone out that way. He took the car and went around to look. When he came back, the RCMP were there and told him not to go back in the woods. By that time, his mom was there with his Uncle Ron, and he waited with them. There was a time when he was looking in the woods. He thought he heard a scream that sounded like Jack and Lily. He stopped and stood still for a little while, but the helicopter overhead was too loud and he didn't hear anything else. At one point on Friday before dark, he took a half-an-hour video on his phone of where he was searching. It was a steep part of a hill, and he does not think Jack and Lily could have gone that way. He was using a flashlight on his phone to try to see all the culverts, but he didn't see anything in the water. F. They talked about what happened on Wednesday and Thursday. Daniel initially had the days mixed up, but then confirmed through online banking on his phone that they spent Wednesday in Churro with Malaya's grandmother and went to run errands, including Malaya's redacted on Thursday. All right, so what it says is Daniel said when the kids went missing, Malaya's mother... Oh, we read that one, sorry. They talked about what happened on Wednesday and Thursday. Daniel initially had the days mixed up, but then confirmed through online banking on his phone they spent Wednesday in Churro with Malaya's grandmother and went to run errands, including Malaya's blood work on Thursday. So the redacted word is blood work. Yeah, that's a new one because I thought it was a wrench too. This one is saying a wrench or a bolt. He had jammed a wrench or a bolt in there to make sure it didn't open. He does that most nights because of the bear. I just heard about the wrench. That morning he had to rip the door open to get it out, and the metal piece fell on the floor. I mean, there's a big difference between a wrench and a bolt. So that's interesting for sure. Hey, DJ. Allegedly, in my opinion, true crime. Good to see you. Just the facts. Good to see you. I think she was already out and about when she got the call. That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, the mod shields? I don't know. It was a new thing. Yeah, you guys have shields to protect you from YouTube street bullshit. All right, continuing. In addition to what he provided in his previous statements, he said the following about Thursday. Daniel said he had Facebook messages from Malaya around 12:07 p.m. She was talking about McDonald's toys. He said he might have been out in the yard playing with Lily and Jack when she sent those messages. I has redacted parts. They all went to Malaya's redacted and got there around 12:50 p.m. Malaya went to get redacted and he stayed in the car with the kids. All three kids were sleeping, so it was quiet. So what it said They all went to Malaya's blood work appointment and got there around 12:50. Malaya went in to get blood work, and he stayed in the car with the kids. 22H is the next part that's redacted, that's now unredacted, and all of that was redacted. And it reads, they talked about his relationship with Malaya. He said the following. All redacted. Now unredacted. And it reads, they talked about his relationship with Malaya. He said the following. They had been together for about 3 years, and it moved pretty quickly. See, I told y'all that he had been with her for like 3 years. Hey, Lil Red, good to see you. Remember in the interview where they were like, they had been together for about 1.5 years? I remembered it being 3 years, and I wasn't wrong. They've been together for about 3 years. So why does that girl say she lived there for 1.5 years? Maybe they've been together for 3 years but hadn't lived there that long? That's interesting. Hope you're doing good too, Lil Red. All right, continuing. They had been together for about 3 years, and it moved pretty quickly. He moved into Malaya's grandmother's house with her after about 2 weeks. They met on Facebook dating. He said their relationship is good. They have ups and downs like any other couple. And then there's personal information. He said they would yell at each other when they were fighting, but there was no physical violence in their relationship. She said he took her phone and it hurt. So I don't know. I mean, somebody's pressing charges against him, and the RCMP felt there was enough for it to stick. So Daniel said he always takes him phone when he leaves the house, and his timeline will say he was home. Okay. My next one is 23D. There is no 23D, so I'm assuming it's this. 23. On May 12th, Daniel underwent a polygraph examination at the Bible Hill RCMP detachment conducted by Sergeant Rose. I'm not even going to try it. The following is a summary of the polygraph examination report. Sergeant Rose said the analysis of the polygraph tracings associated to Daniel's polygraph examination procedure indicated he was truthful when he answered the following questions. When he answered no to the following questions. 23D talks about Masquadabat Harbor. So when we get to Sergeant Askew requested to follow up with Cody by Masquadabat Harbor, we're going to stay here until then. Oh, hold on. Here. So that's my thing with the polygraph. Again, when they talk about his analysis of the polygraph tracings associated to Daniel's polygraph examination procedure, they indicated he was truthful when he answered no to the following questions. Now that's redacted. It continues on May 12th of 2025. Malaya underwent a polygraph examination at the Bible Hill RCMP detachment conducted by Sergeant Dahl. Following is a summary of the polygraph examination report. Sergeant Dahl stated Malaya willingly agreed to undergo a polygraph examination in relation to this investigation in an effort to eliminate her as a suspect in causing her children's disappearance and possible homicide. She was found to have been truthful when answering the following questions. And the comment says, at this point in the investigation, Jack and Lily's disappearance is not believed to be criminal in nature. I do not have reasonable grounds to believe a criminal offense has occurred. Because Jack and Lilly are still missing, polygraph examinations were conducted with the intention of ruling out that possibility. So again, like I've stated before, I think that they were asked questions specifically related to the homicide of Jack and Lilly Sullivan. So I think when Daniel says he was asked about their homicide specifically, and he was found to have been truthful, that's what it is, because they've ruled out that it could be criminal in nature. And I believe when they checked not criminal on that box, they've ruled out that as far as Daniel and Malaya go, that they could, if something did happen and they were involved, it was not criminal in nature. I wish they'd asked questions about the disappearance, accidents, but I mean, I still think if there was some kind of accident and the children were deceased, that you would fail a polygraph when you're being asked specifically about the homicide of the children, if they're dead, things like that, which is what Daniel said he was asked and passed the polygraph when asked. Crystal Burns, good to see you, love. Okay. 23, follow up with biological father. It's 25, but it's listed as 23 on the redaction. On May 3rd of 2025, Sergeant or Corporal Legay met with Lilly Sullivan, Lilly and Jack's biological father. The following is a summary. Legay met with Cody at his residence in Redacted. Cody said he had not seen Jack and Lilly in 3 years and confirmed they were not with him. We go over here. They requested a follow-up. Hold on. Okay, so they requested a follow-up with Cody by Masquerade Harbor RCMP. Here we go. Sergeant Legay, 24-8. Where's 23? D. Like over here, that part's not there, which is freaking weird for me. Okay, so we're at 24A, which is what I just read. Legay met with Cody at his residence at approximately 2:50 a.m. in Masquerade Harbor. Where the fuck is that? Because 24A over here says Sergeant Dahl studied Malaya was willing to undergo a polygraph test. Okay, well, the next one is labeled 26A over here, and it talks about Cody said he used to be in a relationship with Malaya. So let's go over here again and continue with that. On May 7th of 2025, Colin met with Cody, and the following is a summary. Corporal Ticknut asked Constable Conlon to speak with Cody again because a tip had been received that he was seen by a hotel employee in New Brunswick with Jack and Lilly. Ticknut also asked Conlon to obtain photographs of Cody and his vehicles. Conlon attended Cody's residence and confirmed he was there. Cody agreed to being photographed and allowed the vehicles on the property to be photographed as well. And then it goes to Brian Ward. What the fuck? This is freaking weird. Okay, well, 26A said Cody said he used to be in a relationship with Malaya and they had Jack and Lilly together. He had not seen them in a couple of years, but paid child support until he lost his job about 9 months ago. 26C, Cody, sometimes drives a blue Silverado half-ton with a turquoise hood. The next one is 31A, talking about the sawmill with Daniel. So we got other witness statements. On May 2nd of 2025 and May 14th of 2025, 2 statements were obtained from Brian Ward, Lilly and Jack's school bus driver. The following is a summary of what he said. A, Lilly and Jack were at school on Tuesday when their stepfather Daniel took them off the school bus at 2:42. There was no school on Wednesday and they were not at school on Thursday and Friday. It was a normal routine for Malaya or Daniel to take the kids off the bus because Jack was buckled in and needed to be unbuckled as the drivers were not allowed to do it. The buses have video surveillance. He pulled the video and dropped it off at the bus depot. He found out that Lilly and Jack were missing from his daughter and went to help with the search on Friday and over the weekend. On May 4th, Donaldson and Spears took a statement from Nancy Galliant, Jack and Lilly's teacher. The following is a summary of what she said. Nancy Galliant said she had redacted. Galliant never met Malaya but spoke with her. She was polite in conversation. Redacted. Galliant asked Malaya about the kid's biological father, Cody Sullivan. Malaya said he did not have contact with them. Redacted. They were marked absent by Malaya. By email on Thursday and Friday of the week, they went missing because of illness. I think that could be talking about the abuse and how they didn't have the proper attire when they went to school and they would have to keep clothes and things like that there for them. I'm doing good, DJ. How are you? Possible hip replacement. The bullies on YouTube. Other than that, I'm sorry you're having an issue with that and you had a hip replacement. I hope that that gets to feeling better soon, sweetheart. I'm sorry you're going through that. 29 on May 5th. Haynes and Hall took a statement from Patty Pearson, Malaya's grandmother. She said the following. Patty Pearson said she last saw them when they all came to visit. She was not sure of the date, but said it was early in the week, 1 or 2 weeks before. When they came over, Daniel stayed in the car and Malaya did laundry. Malaya and Daniel left to take Meadow to an appointment, and Malaya might have gotten groceries, but she couldn't remember if she took the children or not. C is redacted. D, person she spoke with Malaya almost every day. Our next one's is 31 and 34, so I'm going to keep going. 30. On May 8th of 2025, McKendrick and Constable McKendrick took a statement from Rob McKenzie, Janie's brother. The following is a summary of what he said. Ron spoke with his sister at 8:48 a.m. on May 2nd to see if she wanted to go into town with him. Janie said no. He said he called Janie again at 10:19 a.m. She told him Jack and Lilly were missing. He went to Janie's place a few minutes after that, then to a neighbor's to tell them what was going on. He went to town with his mother after and then came back around 1:30. He got word he could go into the woods when he came back, so he searched for a while. The children had been to his house once, and he last saw them on April 19th and his daughter's birthday party at the fire hall. 31. On May 8th, 2025, Constable McKenzie and Constable McKendrick took a statement from Edmund Dixon, who saw Daniel, Malaya, and the kids at Dollarama on May 1st of 2025, and the following is a summary. All right, this is the first one we have next. Edmund Dixon said he worked with Daniel at the Redacted and saw him in the Dollarama parking lot between 11:30 and 12:30 on May 1st of 2025. Says Edmund Dixon said he worked with Daniel at the Group Savoy Mill and saw him in the Dollarama parking lot between 11:30 and 12:30 a.m. on May 1st of 2025. Next one is 34B. Okay. Continuing. They had a conversation for about 5 minutes and discussed enjoying their time off of work. He also saw Daniel's girlfriend and their baby. He saw other people inside the vehicle and heard children's voices, but he did not see who was actually in the back seat. On May 9th of 2025, Constable McKenzie and Constable McKendrick had a conversation with Brad Wong. The following is a summary. Brad Wong said he did not wish to provide a statement, but was willing to have a conversation with police. He said in the early morning hours of May 2nd, 2025, he heard a loud vehicle coming and going in the area of 1407 Garlock Road. He said his residence is at an elevated position from Daniel's residence, and he could see vehicle lights over the treetops. He said the vehicle left 3 or 4 times after midnight and into the early hours of the morning. He said the vehicle would drive off in the distance, and he could hear it stop and then return. He said it remained in earshot the entire time. 33. On May 13th of 2025, Constable McIntyre took a statement from Cindy Murray, Malaya's mother. The following is the summary. Cindy Murray, or Cindy, said she spoke with Malaya over Facebook Messenger and used video chat. She checked her Facebook Messenger history and provided the following information. Cindy had a missed audio call on April 30th, 2025 at 1:21 p.m. They had a 12-minute video call at 4:40. Cindy said she did not remember the exact call because they talk at least once a day or more. On May 1st of 2025, there was a missed call from Malaya at 2:52 and a video call at 3:37. Cindy says she called on video chat to see the kids, but nothing about the call stood out in her mind. On May 2nd, there was a missed call from Malaya at 8:28 a.m. There was also a missed audio call at 10:40 and a message from Malaya saying the kids were missing and the police were there. How did Cindy get a call from Malaya at 8:28 a.m.? I'm sorry. Yeah, I was still on the wrong page. How did Malaya get a call from Cindy at 8:28 a.m. if Malaya was asleep at 8:28 a.m.? That's interesting. How the fuck was there a missed call from Malaya at 8:28 a.m.? It continues. Cindy said she learned from her mother that the kids were missing because she left her phone in the house when she was in the barn, which was why she missed Malaya's calls. She said she did not know what time her mother called to let her know. 34. This is our next unredacted. On May 17th, Constable McIntyre took a statement from Chance Lays, Daniel's friend. The following is a summary. A. Chance Lays said Daniel called him on Friday night to tell him the kids were missing and asked if he would help with the search. Lays, Daniel, and another friend, Adam Roy, went out and searched on Saturday. B is now unredacted. Lays used to work with Daniel at Redacted and found him to be a hard worker who is reliable. If we go over here, Lays used to work with Daniel at Group Savoy and found him to be a hard worker who was reliable. Okay, and our next one is paragraph 66. Sorry. Here's that, 34B. Lays used to work with Daniel at Group Savoy and found him to be a hard worker who was reliable. Our next one is 66. Okay, that's redacted. I won't read all of this. We'll just jump. Yeah, it's 3 o'clock. We'll just jump to, this is talking about the search and all that. We'll jump to paragraph 66. Talk about the search, the aircraft system, the people coming searching, video surveillance from Walmart and Dollarama. They redacted the name of the Walmart office employee, and they redacted the name of the person they spoke to about video. They redacted the name of people confirming about video surveillance. From the bus. This is all from the bus. I received a call from a redacted name who advised the requested bus surveillance was ready for pickup. This part is redacted and we don't have it. On May 21st of 2025, I tasked Constable Askew with the school bus video surveillance review and later spoke with him about that review. I learned the following. All that's redacted. The video canvas was looked at, tips received from the public. This is where we hear about the woman. If I can find it, I'll read this. It starts 49. I had a conversation with Constable Spears regarding the management of tips received on this file, and I learned the following. A. Constable Spears is managing all the tips that are received, reviewing them as they come in. He said there have been 300 tips in the investigation thus far. These tips include information that has been provided anonymously. Each tip is being followed up on by an investigator in MCU and documented on the file, which Constable Spears has reviewed as well. None of the tips so far have led to Jack and Lilly's location or have any information that has been corroborated by the investigation. There are some areas that have been identified to be searched, and a list is being made for follow-up. The areas have been identified have no correlation to the investigation to date. They are being checked out of abundance of caution. This is redacted. They had a conversation with an employee somewhere. I guess it's probably the blood work people. A lot of that's redacted, and we still don't have that. Yeah, they conversated with some kind of employees from a place in Toronto. Have read the redacted case. I'm aware I have drafted the application with 7 guidelines from police in mind outlining the case. I'm aware of the principles of instrumentalism and minimal intrusion and have tailored the request order with that in mind, given the specific requirements of the case with instrumentalism and minimal intrusion in mind. I'm requesting this time frame because Lily and Jack were last seen on video surveillance at their local Dollarama on May 1st, 2025 at 2:25, and this is the last time their location can be independently verified. They were reported missing on May 2nd. This is still redacted. Police arrived at their residence at 10:27. Shall produce documents and data. Major crime. That's probably trying to get information from like Snapchat and all those places. It's requested that this record access order respectfully be authorized to obtain the requested records on the following terms and conditions. Summary. You don't have to read all of that. That's still redacted. 66. 66 ain't even on here. What the crap? What the helly? All right. So it says 66. Personal information shall produce the documents and or data listed above to Corporal Charlene Curl, regiment numbered of the RCMP Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit, at the address and the cell number, any other peace officer acting on her behalf as soon as reasonably possible, but in any event no later than 14 days from the date of this order. Redactions to be lifted. 3, paragraph 3, all account information associated to text plus phone number between May 1st and May 2nd, text message and call logs associated to text plus phone number between May 1st and May 2nd, text message content associated to text plus phone number between May 1st and May 2nd. 68C, Malaya relayed that Patty checked her phone and Malaya's text plus number was redacted, that number. 69A, text plus records from Malaya Brooks Murray associated to text plus phone number between May 1st of 2025 and May 2nd of 2025 will show any contacts she had with members of her family regarding the disappearance of her children. 70, Text Plus Incorporated shall produce the documents and or data listed above to Corporal Charlene Curl of the RCMP Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit, cell phone number, any other peace officer acting on her behalf as soon as reasonably possible, but not in any event no later than 14 days from the date of this order. So all of that is trying to pull her records from the Text Plus app to make sure that she didn't message anybody about the kids being missing or something to that effect. It gives out the number, but I mean, I'm going to request that you please do not call those phone numbers. I highly doubt those phone numbers are even still being used at this point, if I'm being quite frankly honest. What the helly? What the hellita? What the helly on?
What the helly? What the helly yante? What the helly on? What the helly berry? What the hell?
Hell? What the hell? I'm sharing to keep my mouth shut. What are you sharing? Your pen? Cara, if I type in chat and it don't make sense, please don't tone me out. It's going to take a bit for me to come out of it. Oh my goodness, DJ, calm down. I hope you're okay. Malaya was awake. Malaya heard the kids in the morning. If Daniel killed the kids, Malaya is in on it. You know, AJ, I don't think that they could have done that. I definitely think that Daniel would have flipped on Malaya by now. Malaya won't talk to the media, so if we do find out that Daniel had something to do with it, then I would say that's why Malaya left immediately, didn't search for her kids from what it appeared like, and hasn't really talked to the media since. I'm going to stop sharing that. But I don't think they had anything to do with it because, as we read, they passed their polygraphs. But, you know, there's a lot of things like, again, like I was saying earlier, I think I'm on a seesaw with Southern. I kind of go back and forth with it because they did pass a polygraph, but they were asked questions specifically about the homicide, not the disappearance. A lot of people have said that he could have given the kids over to pay a drug debt. Look, let me tell you something. I mean, again, being a former addict myself, like drug dealers are just like you and me. They just have access to drugs and they sell them, which is a crime. But I don't know many drug dealers that are going to be like, oh, yeah, you give me your kid, I'll give you drugs in exchange. I mean, maybe the cartel or something, but like, I don't see that being a possibility. Okay. Just your everyday drug dealer. If we're going to take the account of Brad Wong, who said the car was leaving, and it was loud and it was leaving, going up the road, stopping, and then going back. That reminds me of what we used to do, which was we would talk to somebody on the phone. We would bring them what they wanted and meet them basically in the middle of the road, and then stop and then trade off and then go back. And they would leave, you know, right up the road from their house. And we would literally be on a back road out in the cut and just stop in the middle of the road, do the exchange, and then go keep it moving. Long time ago. I have to question if that's what was going on, but my issue with the Brad Wong statement is that Daniel's car wasn't working. Malaya's car was working. And from what I understand, Malaya's car is not loud. It's Daniel's car that's loud. And allegedly Daniel's car had not moved in a long time. I do think Daniel could have gotten angry. I think he's got a temper problem. I think that he could have gotten angry because of math. I think he could be bipolar, but I don't think he killed the kids, honestly. Rubber, it's good to see you. I don't know if I said hey to you. I don't think they did it either, but he couldn't have done it alone if he did. 100%. Absolutely, AJ.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
I agree with that. Thank you so much, Lil Red. That's so sweet of you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's good to see all of y'all. You'll just watch. Okay, love. I appreciate Niche, and let me grab her link real quick again and share it with you guys. I'm going to share her Patreon as well, where you can get both of these documents for free. I did not put them on my Patreon because she provides both of them for free. I appreciate her allowing me to use this document that she had. I do believe it's what was given to the media when they had the redactions that were lifted, and we found out that Daniel had indeed taken Malia's phone physically, and sometimes it would hurt. This is Nisha's Patreon, and all of this stuff is free. So definitely check her out. And like I said, you can get these documents, you can read them, and you can go over them on your own YouTube channel. I guess I'll do it this way. Because if you're in here talking in chat, or if you're in here, you already have a channel. You can change your name, you can start your own channel, you can get these documents. My Patreon is $5, but I have a lot of documents on there. It won't let me upload videos for some reason, because I was going to try to upload the body cams for you guys from the Madeline Soto case, and it would not let me do it. I don't know what's going on with that. Niche does rock, and I really, really appreciate her for that information. You think Daniel's very disturbing. I don't think he's disturbing. I think that he might have had a drug problem and might have been a little bit more aggressive because of that, though I cannot explain Jack's black eyes at school. Slightly neglectful is the term I like to use when referencing Malia and Daniel, because the kids would go outside by themselves. I think they were too young to be outside by themselves. When my kids got older, though, they play outside, and I would leave the window open or door open while I was in the kitchen, because we were in a very rural area, and that's a mistake. You shouldn't do that. Just because you live in a rural area does not mean you're more safe from something like this happening, unfortunately. I think that they were way too young to be outside by themselves anyway, but sometimes when you live in a very rural area, you feel more protected and more safe, and that's not always the case. Hearing that Janie would have to tell them if they didn't have a coat on or if they didn't have boots on is concerning and disturbing, because of the school account as well, saying that they had to keep clothes there for Jack and Lilly because they wouldn't have the proper attire for the weather. I mean, like, that tells me the kids are getting up, getting ready for school by themselves, and you're not even laying eyes on them before they go out the door to be at the end of the bus. The bus driver said Daniel would be there when they got off the bus. Nobody said anything about them getting on the bus. So again, is that why? Is that being that slightly neglectful? Is that how the children got up, got ready like any other day, and took off walking down the road? I have to ask. I don't know. And until we find Lily and Jack Sullivan, nobody's going to know, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, of course. That was from the state's attorney's office. I'm hoping to get more. They said they've got more that they haven't released. Now, I don't know if we already have the stuff, but we did get more information in the Jennifer Soto immunity interview, and there's body cams, and y'all can use that whenever you want to. Abellis has always thought the bus driver suspicious. That stands out to me. I don't know about the bus driver. I think that the most suspicious thing to me is the brother that allegedly lived there with Jamie that's never mentioned again, and then the lady with the gold sedan and the curly hair in her 60s with the door open, coaxing two children into the vehicle, because there is no situation that I can come up with where a woman would be coaxing two children into a vehicle. Now, to be fair, allegedly those children looked older and the girl had her hair in pigtails. So unless Lily put her hair in pigtails and the woman was mistaken about the age of the children, that could be irrelevant. But I cannot think of a situation where somebody has their door open and are trying to coax two children that are walking along the side of the road into a vehicle. Like, what the fuck? Did you tell them to get out because they spilled their fucking Capri Sun and walk home and then changed your mind? Like, what the fuck? I just can't make that make sense to me. I feel like Daniel has anger problems. That's why I think he's disturbing. He might have some anger problems, but I don't think he killed the kid. Killed the kids. The brother, I don't remember the brother's name. Yeah, that woman not coming forward when in the beginning is concerning, because if I saw some shit like that, I'm calling some motherfucker body. I'm gonna be like, look, motherfucker. I can't. You have to send me your link. I don't have your link on my Daniel. You have to send me your link because I don't have it pulled up right now. Sorry. The lady not calling in that tip immediately is bothersome, because I would have called that shit in immediately. I would be like, look, there's something going on down here. I don't know if you need to call CPS or y'all need to come look at this, but this woman's like calling two kids in her car that are walking down the side of the road. I can't make the situation make sense to where two children will be walking down the road and you're trying to get them in your vehicle unless something bad is going on, something nefarious. Somebody needs to be calling somebody. I don't fucking know, but y'all need to come figure this shit out. Like, You think that person might not remember correctly. It's a possibility. Very well could be. I don't know. I don't know. I wish that we did know. I wish we could find Lily and Jack. I think I got it now. DJ. Okay, here is the link to DJ's channel if you guys want to go check DJ out and give him a like and subscribe. Hopefully it come through on both. Yeah, it's on that one. Let me go to this other one. Hold on. I see that you're talking just the facts. Hold on, let me see what you said. Okay, there's DJ's channel. If you guys would like to give him a like and subscribe. They're not in the woods. Nothing else makes sense. If they're not in the woods, nothing else makes sense. I know. Just the fact that I saw on someone else's channel, Darwood saying Daniel said something people could think implicated him in whatever happened to them. And now I can't stop thinking about what he meant. Darwood says things, in my opinion, to get I just dropped it for you, sweetheart. I went to your channel and grabbed it. And so I did drop it and ask people to subscribe. I'm glad you're doing that. And I wish you all the luck in the world, DJ. Darwood says things, I think, because they're salacious. He likes the attention. He likes for people to look at him like, I think, because for the longest time he was saying that the kids were on the reservation, which made absolutely no fucking sense at all. Because why would the chief of that nation risk her whole entire nation to hide two kids that never needed to be hidden? There was no reason for Malay to hide the kids. They were hers. Like if it had been Meadow, I would think maybe Meadow could be on the reservation. Maybe she's hiding Meadow from Daniel because she's scared Daniel's going to get custody. But when it came to Jack and Lily, she had custody. Cody wasn't trying to get Jack and Lily, so there's absolutely no reason for her to need to hide them. So why hide them? Like, that doesn't make sense at all. And he went with that forever and a day and then changed his story. The latest one I heard was that he was lying intentionally to catch liars. And I'm like, just please stop it. I wish they would stop giving that man airtime, because I don't believe a damn word he says. Thank you guys for subscribing to DJ. I do appreciate it. I love you too. Yeah, I think he likes the attention. I think that he feels like he's playing a real life game of Clue, and that's upsetting because that is his family. You would think he would want them found more than anything, you know? So I don't know. All right, y'all, I'm going to go for the day. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I've really enjoyed going over this document with you, understanding what was once redacted and seeing how it's now unredacted. I found that very interesting, and I'm very, very appreciative of Niche for giving me that information and allowing me to go over it. Thank you so very much. Her link is in the description, and I will put a link to her Patreon in my description as well. Lil Red also has a channel. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yes. Here's Lil Red's channel as well. If you guys would like to subscribe to Lil Red. Lil Red does true crime as well. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good evening. I hope your Monday is not a manic one, and I will definitely see y'all back tomorrow. It was good to talk to you guys. It's good to hear your thoughts, opinions, and speculations on this situation and everything going on. I hope you guys take care. I love you all. I hope you have a safe evening, and we'll definitely be back tomorrow. I've been sending out FOIAs left and right, so hopefully we'll have some exciting stuff to go over. I saw some other things too that I'm kind of questioning. I thought that might kind of be interesting. I saw some stuff on the Epstein files that I would love to talk to you guys about, so we might talk about that tomorrow. Not positive. Either way, make sure you show up. Make sure you're here if you can be, because it will be enjoyable. We'll hang out, talk, and chat nonetheless. So until then, stay safe. Please know that you are enough. You are important. You are special. And I love you very much. And I will see y'all tomorrow.